service type businesses, this is where you start playing in a weird world of finding a mix between affiliate marketing and influencer marketing, because there are a lot of businesses that have created thought leadership channels, communities, groups, and profiles, but they're traditionally affiliate marketers. So they're looking at bringing you in new business for a commission of that new lead or that new client, but they are doing it through ways of social media and influence. Now, you'd be surprised. So at Millions, like I mentioned, we work with over 4,000 athletes. And what's really cool about what we've done is we've been able to explore through the tools we've developed, um, who these athletes' fans are. And you'd be surprised, even on Instagram, how many of these athletes have businesses that follow them, have entrepreneurs that follow them, have small business owners that follow them. We've pulled over 1,200 different categories, not just an individual sports fan, of people that follow these athletes. So you can look at those same tools across any market, not just sports, but we can look at that in business. We can look at that in traditional content creators, and you can look at who follows them and identify all these different groups. So when you're thinking of influencing, it's and using an influencer for your marketing tactics and trying to find someone who aligns to your business, that's the first key, is who is the right influencer for your business, who follows them, and what categories follow them, and is that going to apply to my business? So if you're a product based, you want someone who has a lot of individuals who follow them, who match those demographics that are your target demographics. But if you're a business and you're trying to find serviceable businesses, you want to find profiles that have businesses following them, or business owners who are following them, or entrepreneurs, startup owners, things that you can immediately be able to address with your type of content that you're collaborating on. So there's the ability, even for service-based businesses, to use influencer marketing. But the challenge is that this data that I keep talking about, it's not easy to get as an individual. So that's typically
100%.
where you have to rely on kind of other platforms or other businesses who do have access to that data, in order to help support you in connecting and collaborating with the right partners. Because I, I mean, I'm sure I don't have to tell you, so many people try working with influencers and they don't get ROI. And it's because of two reasons. One, people aren't stupid. So if they see
Yep.
an influencer post something that they've never heard of, never seen before, they're not just immediately going to buy. You're maybe going to get a few sales from it. You're going to get a few transactions from it. But influencer marketing is a very long-term game, because you need them to create authenticity amongst their fan base. You need people really thinking, wow, they use this product and this business all the time. They trust it. And so now because I've repeatedly seen it, I'm going to trust it and I'm going to go give it a try. So that's kind of one,
100%.
is that longevity. Two is finding the right influencer. People think following means sales. So they say, okay, this person has 50,000 followers, 500,000 followers, 5 million followers. I'm going to pay them money and they're going to make a post. And if only 1% of those people convert to a sale, I'm good. And it's just, that's not the right way of thinking about influencer marketing. So the two kind of key things that people need to look for is, how to identify the right fit for my business based on their audience that they're reaching, and how can I afford or create some kind of relationship that I can get more long-term use out of this partnership other than a one-time post.
So that makes sense. I hadn't thought about influencer marketing as a long term play. I be honest, thought about it as a transactional move. Like, okay, cool. I have an energy drink. They say drink this energy drink, like you see a
Mhm.
TV commercial type deal, and you sell it. So that's a good reframe to think about it as a long term play. So we'll go with athletes even. Yeah, I after I interviewed Matt, I pulled my clientele and said, who are some of your famous sports athletes? Who do you follow? And I got fucking crickets.
Mhm.
You know, there just wasn't a lot of people in our client base that were huge sports nuts or into a lot of the athletic things. So I thought, shit, how the hell would I use these sports influencers because now it's a complete pop shop for me to try it because I have no idea where to start. And now hearing you say specifically, you need to know what their client base are. Do they have the business owners and the likes? How the hell do you find that information?
Yeah, so it's taken us years to really develop that. At first when we launched Millions, we wanted to help some of our personal friends who are athletes and help them launch their own brand and kind of create a channel that they could develop. And then Millions developed from there. We really realized that that problem didn't just exist amongst, our network. It didn't just exist in combat sports. It kind of existed across all sports for all athletes. If you're not in that top 1% of athletes,
Mm-hmm.
no one's really supporting you. And so we wanted to offer kind of a very ver- a large variety of support to these athletes in building their own brand and building their own channels. As we started to develop that, we're kind of a three-sided marketplace. We support the athletes, they draw in their fans who we also support. And then now that we have this great relationship between the athletes and their fans, we've started to work with a lot of brands that have come in to tap in to both sides of those of that marketplace. And so as we've worked with brands, one thing that we noticed was a huge issue was none of them really knew who they would want to work with or who would represent their business very well.
Yep.
Traditionally, some brands have done a lot of TV marketing and TV advertising for different sports, but even then, aside from telling us, hey, here's the sport we're interested in, they really didn't have much detail to give. So this is where we had to understand, okay, well, who are you trying to target? What is your objective? What is your goal as a business? Who are you trying to target? And our team, because we got to know the athletes very well and their fans very well, started to develop ways to match and smart match kind of these brands and the demographic they're going after and who the athletes that would fit that campaign would be based on who follows them. So we created thousands and thousands of points of different data. And it was all kind of internal for a while. And that's where we just launched our new tool, which kind of makes sports marketing easier. So for a brand, you come in, you explain what you normally would have explained to us. Here's my budget. Here's what I'm trying to achieve. Here's the
And you do that
demographic.
on millions.com or is that somewhere
Yeah, it's
else?
on Millions. So it's our new AI campaign builder that we're launching. It's available for early release right now, but people can go, they can sign up to it. They can it uses a chat GPT model. So you can go and converse with the tool and say, this is what I'm trying to do, my budget and who I'm trying to go after. And it prepares for you the best type of campaign based on what you're trying to do. So if you need content, if you're trying to do social, you're trying to create influence, you want to create more long-term authenticity versus one-time kind of relationships, it'll help identify um, uh, the best method to go with, but then it'll smart match you to all the athletes that fit within your budget and who have a higher percentage of your demographic that you're trying to target. That way, you can create
I don't
the
want to
the
sound
right
like a
level of
commercial for
influence.
millions, but that's a brilliant move on y'all's part
Yeah,
because there's a ridiculous amount of value in there because when you think of any sort of marketing spend or advertising spend, you know uh, sometimes you're guessing until you start figuring things out. So if you can shortcut that process, that's huge.